Welcome back to the Movie Man. Today I will show you a 2001 American romantic comedy film, Legally Blonde. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Elle Woods is a senior year student who's majoring in fashion merchandising. She's also the president of a girlish sorority group. Elle is madly in love with her handsome boyfriend Warner Huntington III, who will be starting law school at Harvard the following year. Currently she's very excited to meet him as she believes he'll propose to her for marriage. For this, Elle seeks advice from two of her friends regarding the best outfits for her. Later that day the couple goes to a restaurant and Elle is almost sure that her boyfriend will propose to her. However, to her dismay, Warner does the exact opposite. He breaks up with her. According to Warner, his family has 5 generations of senators and he must stop distracting himself with such things in order to focus solely on his studies. He also claims that he can't just marry a normal girl after being a senator because it's against his family's reputation. Hearing all this, a heartbroken Elle sobs loudly in front of everyone before storming out. For 1 week she isolates herself inside her room, but on the 8th day an idea strikes her mind. Determined to win Warner back, she decides to attend Harvard Law School and become a well-respected person. So Elle starts preparing for the entrance exam, and with days of hard work she manages to pass it, much to everyone's surprise. The administration team of Harvard Law School is initially hesitant to accept her because she is majored in fashion merchandising. However, because of her remarkable SAT scores and diversity, they allow her in. Finally she arrives at Harvard Law School with her dog catching the attention of everyone because of her naivete. Later she sits with a group of 4 people, all of whom have impressive backgrounds as social workers. One introduces himself as David Kidney, who has a master's degree in Russian literature, a doctorate in biochemistry, and has spent the last 18 months deworming orphans in Somalia. Next up is Eden Wexler, who has a PhD in women's studies and was the sole organizer of the Lesbians Against Drunk Driving March. Another one is Erin Mitchell, who's a Princeton graduate and has an IQ of 187. When it comes to Elle, everyone is taken aback to learn about her background. In the next scene, Elle is on her way to her first class when she comes across Warner. She purposely bumps into him in order to grab his attention, and as expected he is shocked to see her there. Later in the class, Elle is not prepared to answer Professor Stromwell's question, and as a result she's asked to get out. A classmate named Vivian Kensington supports the professor in this, causing Elle to walk out in rage. Outside she's approached by a guy named Emmett who tries to comfort her. He informs her that Professor Stromwell is one of the strict members of the faculty and that she has made him cry once. He then asks for the names of other professors who take her classes, to which Elle responds with Callahan, Royalton and Leventhal. He then advises her to speak up in Callahan's class because he values opinionated students, to take a back seat in Royalton's class because he tends to spit when he speaks, and to read the footnotes in Leventhal's class because that's where he gets a lot of his exam questions. After hearing all of this, Elle asks if he's a third-year student, but before Emmett can respond, Warner cuts him off. Vivian also arrives and introduces herself as Warner's fiancée. Leaving Elle in shock, depressed, she drives to a parlor to relax her nerves and confides in a manicurist named Bullet. The latter shares her experience and reveals that she herself was dumped by a guy after dating for 8 years. Hence she encourages Elle to reclaim her love no matter what the circumstances are. Inspired, Elle returns to law school and decides to join Warner's study group, but Vivian flatly refuses to let her in. Elle misses her best friends, so she calls them only to learn that one of them is getting married on June 1st and that they are currently trying the bridal dress. While on the phone, Elle overhears a law school party discussion. She walks out and asks Vivian if she can join as well, to which she agrees, pretending it's a costume party. Overjoyed, Elle attends the party dressed as a Playboy bunny, but to her horror it turns out to be an education event. Seeing her appearance, everyone begins mocking her. A few moments later, Elle approaches Warner to find solace, but even he offends her by claiming that she will not be able to pass the law exams because they are not her cup of tea. Like and subscribe may look simple for you, but for us it's as very valuable. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support. This makes Elle realize that he will never respect her despite her efforts. Hence she decides to make it her mission to prove him wrong. From that day onwards, Elle starts studying hard, gathering all the information she can. Soon she's able to respond to Professor Stromwell's questions in class. One day Elle speaks up in Callahan's class and contradicts Warner's point of view. This impresses the professor, who then suggests she apply for an internship under him. In the midst of all this, Elle also assists Paulette in regaining custody of her dog from her ex-husband, which she has been attempting for years. Eventually Elle's hard work pays off as she wins an internship with Professor Callahan, but so do Warner, Vivian and Enid. All of them gather to deal with their first real case, and Emma joins them as well. It turns out that he is an associate attorney and former Harvard Law Review editor who has been wandering the school for Callahan's research. Callahan informs them that they are here to defend a well-known fitness instructor named Brooke Taylor Wyam, who is accused of murdering her much older wealthy husband Hayward. According to the information, Brooke's husband was found shot dead in their Beacon Hill mansion, and she was seen standing over his body. Surprisingly, Elle claims that she knows Brooke, as she was once her fitness instructor and a member of her sorority. She believes that Brooke is innocent, but Brooke's stepdaughter Chutney as well as the pool boy Enrique both believe she's guilty. In the next scene, Callahan and his team go to the prison to note down Brooke's statement. According to Brooke, she entered the room and found her husband lying down. When she bent down to check his heart rate, Chutney and Enrique walked in. Elle is the only one who believes her, while Callahan and the rest of the team members think that she's guilty. One day Elle is at the parlor chatting with Paulette. The latter reveals that she has a crush on a delivery man but hasn't had the courage to tell him. Fortunately, Elle is a master at seducing boys. She teaches Paulette a bend and snap trick, which apparently has a 98% success rate of getting a man's attention and an 83% return rate on a dinner invitation when used appropriately. Eventually the entire staff practices the trick, creating a fun atmosphere. Back to the murder case, Brooke refuses to provide Callahan with an alibi, so Elle pays her a private visit in prison, and this time Brooke admits that she was having liposuction on the day of the murder. She agrees to go to jail rather than reveal her secret, because doing so would ruin her reputation as a fitness instructor. Hearing this, Elle agrees to keep it a secret and refuses to tell Callahan about the alibi. Later that day, Emmett and Elle drive to Hayworth's ex-wife for further questioning, but they do not get what they're looking for. The same night, Vivian, who is now impressed by Elle's integrity, starts to befriend her and attempts to strike up a friendly conversation. During this, she admits that Warner was placed on Harvard's wait list and only got in because his father pulled some strings, shocking Elle. The day of Brooke's trial is finally here, and the proceedings are being held in the Superior Court of Suffolk County under the judgment of the Honorable Judge Marina R. Bickford. The first hearing does not go as planned because the pool boy Enrique claims to have had an affair with Brooke, which she denies. Outside the courtroom, Elle is stomping her feet as she waits in line to drink the water. Enrique, who is right in front of her in the queue, turns back and identifies her shoe style, warning her not to stomp in front of him. With this, Elle deduces that he's gay because only gay men know designers, unlike straight men. She informs the rest of her team of this, implying that he's lying about his affair with Brooke. As a result, Emmett cross-examines Enrique in the following trial and tricks him into identifying his real boyfriend in court, proving that his testimony was a lie. Impressed by her performance, Callahan summons Elle to his office and begins discussing her future. However, he also starts making sexual advances on her, which she immediately rejects and storms away. Vivian, who overheard only a portion of their conversation, confronts Elle and expresses her disappointment. She assumes that Elle used her good looks to obtain her internship. Hearing all this, Elle becomes angry, so she decides to quit everything and drop out of law school. She reveals everything to Emmett, leaving him in shock. He tries his best to persuade her to stay, but Elle has already made up her mind. Later, as I was saying goodbye to Paulette, Professor Stormwell shows up and gives her the confidence to continue without letting anyone ruin her career. On the other hand, Emmett explains about Elle's problem with Vivian and Brooke. Brooke is furious at the pervert Callahan while Vivian realizes her mistake. The following day before the trial resumes, Brooke fires Callahan and hires Elle as her new attorney, with Emmett supervising her. Not long after, Elle's two friends as well as Paulette and Warner arrive at the court to Elle's first work as an attorney. Finally the trial begins, and Elle begins by shakily cross-examining Chudney, who testifies that she was home during her father's murder but did not hear the gunshots as she was in the shower washing her hair after having it permed. When Elle hears this, she gets Chudney to reconfirm her story and then reveals that washing permed hair within the first 24 hours would have deactivated the ammonium thioglycinate, causing one's hair to be damaged, but in the case of Chudney her curls are still intact, indicating that she is lying. Exposed, Chudney admits to killing Hayworth by mistake because she mistook him for Brooke. It turns out she despised Brooke and was planning to take her out for years. With this confession, the case is finally closed and Brooke is exonerated. As for the evil Chudney, she's immediately taken into custody. Later, as a victorious Elle is walking out, Warner approaches her and tries to persuade her into reconciling. However, she rejects him, claiming that she needs a boyfriend who's less of a bonehead and more of a faithful guy. 2 years later, Elle graduates with high honors and she has a class-elected speaker delivers a brief motivational speech about having faith in oneself. She's revealed to be invited to work at one of Boston's top law firms. Vivian is now Elle's best friend and she has broken off her engagement with Warner, who graduated with no honors, no girlfriend and no job offers. On the other hand, Paulette has married the delivery man and is expecting a baby girl whom they will name after Elle. Emmett has quit working for Callahan and has established his own practice. He and Elle have been dating for the past 2 years and he plans to propose to her soon. That was all of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.